You know, this bill is a bill for working Americans. I'm a product of the working class. Like I said earlier, I grew up most of my life in a single wide trailer, and then we upgraded to a double wide. My dad was one of those 199A employees that would benefit in this bill. He was the employee of one. He had a two-car garage. He was the best transmission overhaul mechanic that you could find. And I was the first in my family to ever graduate college. They were the first in their family to ever graduate from high school. And so the community that I represent, my hometown where I live today, is less than 5,000 people. The per capita income is just at $24,000. $24,000 a year. My grandparents never had running water on the farm that I live on. I was the first one to drill a well, so we didn't have to use an outhouse. I understand the struggles of working Americans, and that's why for over the last year, Chair Fox, we have traveled throughout this country. We've had 15 different field hearings from a homeless shelter in Chicago to an Indian reservation in Arizona to the second largest port in Staten Island. We went all over this country to hear from real small business owners, real working moms, real farmers of the issues that they're facing in today's economy. And that's what this bill delivers on. This bill makes permanent what is expiring at the end of this year. Every individual tax rate will be made permanent. The 10% tax rate will be made permanent. Every single one. The child tax credit, which affects 40 million Americans, 40 million children. If Congress does not act by passing this legislation, you will see the child tax credit go from $2,000 to $1,000. To $1,000. That affects working families. The guaranteed deduction, which 91% of Americans use when they file their taxes, that gets slashed in half if we don't pass this bill. But guess what? This bill also increases that guaranteed deduction, $1,000 per individual. That's real tax relief for the 91% of Americans that use it to file their taxes. We also enhanced the child tax credit, $500. Inflation's gone up a lot since 2017, and we're indexing it for inflation. We're also delivering on the promise that we made to the voters of no taxation on tips, no tax on overtime, tax relief for seniors. Also, allowing you to be able to deduct your interest from autos made in the United States. I'll tell you, the senior citizen who's an Uber driver is going to benefit the most from this tax package, because no tax on tips, senior tax relief, and also they can deduct their interest if that car is made in the United States. These are real impacts for real Americans. In fact, an average family of four under this tax bill will see their tax cuts of $1,300. $1,300. Where I come from, $1,300 is a lot of money in the paychecks of working families who are struggling just to get by. In this tax bill, what it does for small businesses, there's 26 million small businesses right now that are wondering, is their tax rate going to be 43.4% next year or 23 to 28%? And these are those mom and pops on Main Street that are just surviving. That's my parents' auto repair shop in Southeast Missouri. They're deciding of how to invest, how to grow right now with the uncertainty, and this bill will provide that certainty. In fact, we also enhance the small business deduction to 23%, allowing them to have more parity with the big corporations with having a lower tax rate as a small business owner. We also go after special interest tax provisions that were passed in the IRA. We eliminate more than $500 billion of bad green scam policies. And those policies will be redirected for the working class Americans, those tipped employees, those linemen working overtime, those seniors who are living paycheck to paycheck. That's what we're going to do with those green credits. We're also going to hold elite universities accountable. We're going to make sure that they pay their share of revenues coming from endowments. Corporate tax rate's 21%. The top tax rate will be 21%. If an endowment can have $55 billion, more than most countries, I think that they're not really paying their fair share. We're always talking about paying their fair share, but we're going to make sure those elite universities pay their fair share. It's the same way with woke non-for-profits. We're holding them accountable. We're also saving $140 billion in the tax code to make sure illegals aren't benefiting from the tax code. And this is all to deliver real relief for the average, everyday American who sent us to Washington for this mandate. I appreciate you for allowing us to be here today.